another one. This video is an interrogation of a murdered woman. Was murdered in her own home. 3 men were in the house. They think the husband set it up for his wife to get murdered. But who did he put up to killing his wife is what the detectives are trying to figure out. And I just watched the original version of the story of how the wife got killed. And I don't quite remember how it went, but this interrogation caught my attention because these guys couldn't get to telling on each other on how they set this up. And it's got a twist in it that almost had me going, could he be telling the truth? But this right here is going to show you just how much people will lie to get themselves out of trouble. I'm telling you, watch with me to react. It's horrible.
They copy. So you're telling me that Dimitri Dale was telling you to come down there, that Yuri didn't know you were coming?
Yeah, he was supposed to know I was coming.
He put together a robbery to rob the youth pastor at our church a few years back. He's done so much little stuff, and it's like I'm always there to help him, to pull him out of the hole he digs himself in, and then now he freaking tries to drag me in this to lose my fucking kids.
We knew Dimitri didn't shoot. Dimitri was on the patio and the gun.
He wrote this down. He wrote it down. I have the papers in my room. It sounds like a script.
Where is this paper?
It's in my room. If you go in my room, you go in it says game plan on the paper.
Don't you have any regret of having done this?
I mean, I have regret of making him my fucking friend.
You're standing somewhere by this car when Yuri and Dimitri are supposedly arguing.
They arguing, you feel me, about like a situation that like you want Dimitri to do something. Dimitri ain't going with it, you feel me? Like you want Dimitri to go do something, I guess it's something bad.
3 men and a dead mother of 3. The Palm Beach Sheriff's Office has 2 of the culprits on the ropes, thanks to their mutual friend, Demetrius Dale. There is only one question left. Just how involved was Demetrius in the plot? And
I'm the only one that's gonna probably get away with this.
I heard the fuck out of that. They caught me. Great YouTube
Okay,
channel.
cool.
Please go check them out. I know
If I got
Nothing to target you, but it is, I've been straight to you for some things that happen. What was your question? I'm sorry.
And I got screenshots if you want conversation between me and Shay and Gigi.
Oh,
I'm really
yeah,
fascinated
definitely.
on how they
So,
get
as standard, I'm going to fill this
lying
out.
on a story.
Yeah,
So if the cop asks you,
We just started it or something?
No, we usually do it outside. Now some just let them use it. It makes us remember.
just give
It's just logging through our interview.
I'm a lawyer.
All right, three business. Okay. Let's see. All right, so before we begin, Ms. Ria, verify everything and tell me to your best of knowledge of the truth.
Yes, sir.
And you came of your own free will because it's ongoing criminal investigation. You can do my standard routine Miranda ones that I've done numerous thousand times.
Wrong criminal investigation.
So,
That's when
you got
you
your car now, right?
Yeah, I got the best car. I got a couple $130,000 on it.
Just get you where you need to. That's
Yeah, it got me to North Carolina and Georgia, so
Wow, that's all.
it's not
I
bad.
bet you're nervous.
I was like, well,
Car, 9 miles.
the first day I got it, it started making this noise, and my brother said,
Yeah, it's gonna.
"You're not gonna make it."
Yeah.
And then the guy swear, "Oh, it's gonna make it." He said, "But that's what they're supposed to tell you. They won't tell you, no." But when I brought it back, I said, "Listen, man, I gotta leave tomorrow. I can't take this."
Yeah.
And it was just something on the front to need to be tightened straight. Never gave me a problem after.
Is it American made or is
A Honda?
Oh.
So it's foreign.
yeah, Honda? That's good.
Yeah.
I
Right.
the hell out of that if I'm gonna be small
Required when
talking,
you before you make a statement, you get following the constitutional rights, the right to silence questions, and as I did before, I said, you understand this?
Yes.
Any statement you make must be clear and voluntary.
Yes.
You have the right to the presence and representation or your
Arrested.
choice
I ain't never been
or
to
you make
jail,
a
but I've been
mistake
to
and
prison.
question.
Yes.
25 years.
You
but I've
cannot
never
afford
been
a
to jail.
lawyer. You are entitled to the presence and
So
representation
far.
of a lawyer to make any statement during any question.
But I've been
Yes.
to prison, so I
If
know
at any
how
time
to
during the
act
interview
in
you do not wish
prison.
to answer any questions, you are privileged to remain silent. All right, and I can make
I
no commitment, but
worked
I promise
in
you to make a statement. This must be your own free will.
Same thing, same
And
thing.
what's your name?
Trailer.
Any statement can be and will be used against you in court of law. You understand the right to live.
Yes.
All right, you're cool with that.
I'm free now. My
All right,
papers
basically,
is discharged.
Since last time we spoke, have you, Joseph, reached out to you in any way since you've been in jail?
No.
Okay. So, once we make an arrest, we don't just stop the investigation. So as
Right.
we go, and as I mentioned to you before, you've always
I still
denied
like this cop shit.
knowing that Joseph was going to kill
Right.
Jenkins' wife until he actually came into the garage of Damascus.
Right.
All right, fair enough. I'm not going to push that issue with you right now, but do know that the state attorney's office, the prosecutor, still can charge you as an accessory,
Yeah.
okay, or conspiracy to commit murder.
Right.
On the surface, but I want you to use witness,
Okay.
okay?
Mhm.
You got to be truthful about everything. We're going to talk about some stuff. I need you to be honest. Because I don't hide anything. It's just going to hurt you.
Yeah, I don't have no reason to.
After after McKee was murdered,
Mhm.
you had told me on prior occasion that Joseph asked for whose number?
Yours.
Right, and you gave it to him.
Yeah.
By what means did he ask you? Was it
Text message.
okay? How did you send it? Did you tell him over the phone? Did you text it to him?
I think I texted to him
Where were you when you did that?
at home.
Where's home?
West Palm Beach.
Are you sure you weren't with anyone?
No one.
Did
It was
you?
3 in the morning. I remember I was half asleep.
How soon after the murder did he ask you? Murder was on the morning of the 29th at 2 a.m. 2:18 a.m. Was it?
I want to say it was the week of the funeral, so it might have been a few days after.
Okay.
Can't really remember, but
Mr. Bond's number, do you know it off the top of your head?
no, I got it on my phone.
Do you know Yuri's number off the top of your
Yes.
head? All right, so with this, now, you've called me, not just from your number there,
My mom and her.
your mom's number, which is what?
She has also she has a government phone, another number. When you had took my phone, I don't even remember that number, but it's in my phone also.
What do you mean?
Like her number.
Can you pull it up? You've used it to contact me?
Yeah, I
Did you use
believe.
it when we took your phone home? Did we have your phone remind me?
Maybe a day.
It did, I got it back to you.
Yeah.
But during that time frame, you were using that phone.
Right. I was using her 275 phone, but right after, you say my phone again? No, I was using this number too, because my phone was off a few times. Remember?
Yeah, well, you said you had text free,
Right. And I used text free, and I also used this phone,
which is, you said 239.
293.
You said 239.
I didn't use it.
So this number right here. The reason I'm asking is because
Yeah, that's my mom's number.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's registered to your mom. So
Yeah.
you told me you volunteered that. You didn't hide that from
No,
us now.
I didn't hide it, yeah.
Okay. The reason I'm bringing this up because on July 1st,
Mhm.
I want you to clarify that this is you sending the messages to
Javon.
or back and forth to Javon, and then you can explain what you mean by these things. I need you to explain because on the surface it makes really no sense. But if people write things in hidden language, and sometimes I need you to
Yeah, I
explain.
don't do
For
so.
instance, when he sent you, how did he? Do you remember what he sent you?
Just early in the morning, he said,
What his words were as far as, and how do you know he was talking about Yuri when he said send his number?
because I just remember what happened that night, and he was just seemed like he was angry. I don't really remember word for word, but I remember telling him, if you want the number, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
And he said, yeah, give me the number. And I gave him the number.
Did you realize you gave him the number incorrectly?
Say it again?
Did you realize you gave him the number incorrectly?
No, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
you did. So
I
with
don't know
that,
if I said
yeah,
that.
did you do that intentionally?
No.
Okay.
I thought I texted the right way.
No, this is what you did. This is your mom's number. This is you texting it to Javon. This is the number you sent.
No, oh yeah, I probably put 5 by accident. Now,
Did that come up later with Joseph?
no,
Did he ever confront you about sending the fucking or that Yuri's not answering?
no, because I texted him off this phone, the number before.
Well,
This was
when did you
now.
do
See,
that?
when you said right after the murder, I'm thinking you
This
talking
is
about.
July 1st.
Yeah, you didn't say my mom's phone. I thought you were. I'll call you back later, bro.
Good.
That's my brother.
That's not just.
But, I texted him off my phone. Maybe a week after this.
no, this is showing July 1st. You seen him.
Yeah, but I didn't text him that off. But I'm saying I did have messages with him on his phone. Him really kind of asking for Gary's phone number. My
Prior to
phone
this
number.
or after this?
After. Before that.
Before that,
Must
that would
have
have been like the 30th of June or 29th. The murder was the 29th.
It could have been after, could have been before, but I didn't use my phone until my phone went off, so it had to be after. It had to be before that. Had to be before that.
When just before you texted the number he was asking about, he asked you for the number. Then you guys had dialogue. You said he said he can't. Where the hell is the other text? I'm sorry, but there's another text I can show you. Because you had a response to it. Give me a second. I have it. Yeah, I have it. It's definitely not. Leave the door open. Actually, the beginning of July 1st was I'm getting at. Joseph's asking you for you.
Yeah, and I kind of was hesitant to give it to him. I maybe said, "Are you sure you want the number?" and stuff like that. Really, because I just didn't want to give it to him.
Oh, now he gonna make up a lie and say that.
It's in print, not working.
Was that early in the morning when it happened?
No, it was in the after.
Yeah.
Basically, it says he's sending you a text and send his number. All right, it takes you a little while before you actually send it. But you did put, he replied here. This is you. You know what's that mean?
On the phone with him now.
Is that with Yuri?
Yeah.
Okay. What were you discussing with Yuri regarding Joseph? That
Basically-
you needed to declare about Joseph that you were on the phone with Yuri.
But I basically was just telling him, hey, he wants your number, this, that, and I was just, well, all right,
That-
yeah. Well, because I don't remember what I always spoke. I remember
That
saying,
has something to do with murder.
no, not really, because all I
This is
said was,
post-murder. Remember,
this is after.
Right.
So when I just told him, I said, listen, he's asking for your number. I have no problem giving it to him. I just don't really want that to do with this, blah, 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 blah. That was basically it.
No,
For the most part.
what did Yuri say?
He just told me, he was just like, okay, he didn't really tell me not to give him his number. He didn't. I don't remember word for word what he said, but I don't remember him telling me not to give it to him.
Okay. And what phone did you call him on when you spoke to Yuri?
Maybe the same phone. I don't remember.
Never used his phone to call him.
So maybe my phone or
So you're
maybe
using two phones at the same time.
I was texting off. Well, I probably called. I don't even remember.
So
Maybe
fine
my
against
phone.
that.
I just don't remember. It could have been my phone. Could have been my mom's phone. One of the two. No, it was my mom's phone. It probably was most likely my mom's phone because he never wanted to talk to me on his phone.
And remind me what number that one is. That's it's another number in her name because this one shows registered too.
Yeah, that's her regular number. That other phone that she's using that actually now because her phone's off. She don't even receive incoming calls.
All
But
right.
it probably was that phone because I remember him calling me several times on here, well, off her phone, and telling my mom. Keep in mind, he did call my mom a few times. She didn't answer. He texted her phone.
I remember you showing
Right.
me over that, but I'm
But
really
for
only
that-
concerned about this date, 2 days after
But
the
if,
murder.
all I remember is he called me a few times and told me, leave your phone in the room and walk off, stuff like that.
Remember Joseph's text? I can go print it out. I
Yeah,
figured you're
no
gonna remember because you know what you replied. But he says something about he needs his wheels. Why is he telling you to tell Yuri that he needs his wheels? He's talking about something else other than wheels.
He's talking about cars.
Yeah.
Like a car.
Well, I know that's usually what that means, but why would he be telling you to tell Yuri he needs his car?
I don't know. I basically, I knew.
Because your response to that is, he said he can't right now. They're not letting him touch nothing.
That's what I told him.
Touch what?
Money or whatever.
His money, right?
Money.
Be straight.
That's money.
So let's go back. So when
Just-
Joseph's sending that
So
text.
keep in mind the whole time, for them to communicate, they're communicating through me,
Understood.
obviously.
Kind of imagine.
And basically he was saying that he needs his wills, and he
Wills
was
is-
pressuring. He was.
Well,
he
you
was
had
called.
phone calls too.
Yeah. He was kind of like pressing me, like he called me. He was like, man, listen, man, I'm not playing. And I'm like, this man did not let him touch that. And I didn't.
When you men did not let touch it, what did Yuri tell you that made you say that?
He never told me that. I just said that. I just said that because I just didn't really want to communicate with them about that.
Yuri hadn't mentioned anything about
He
that.
never mentioned nothing.
This is after the murder.
This is after. Yeah, this is after. He never called my phone about money. I never asked. It was not my
You
business.
hear it?
He kept pressuring me, so I used to just tell him, oh, he said he can't touch that, this and that, just for him to say, hey, man. And I even when we were on, it was one night, we were on, I dropped Shay off on Cameron Avenue. There's like a waterfront right there, off of Cameron and Broadway, I guess. Like on the 25th Street, you make a left. Dixie, I don't know what road that is.
Okay.
And I told him this, and I took him right there. We were standing outside by the waterfront, and I was just saying, listen, man, I don't want nothing to do with this. You need to watch who you talk to, because, people can go and they can go collect money because you're telling them you saying you out of your mouth, this and that. I don't want nothing to do with this. But he kept pressuring me.
Tell you. Remember, this is just 2 days after the murder. I
Right,
know he's
but
that's what that means when he says, I need my wheels.
yeah,
How do you know that's what he did? He
That-
really want a
that's
car?
a street
Did he
name.
really want a car, or was he talking about money?
He was talking about a car. Well, I said he can't touch nothing. But what he was trying to do was get Yuri to give him his car. That's what he was trying to do.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you know that? How do you-
Because he kept telling me that.
Just that's distracting me. How about
For
just
payment.
just face down.
All right.
For his
Just
payment.
email.
You
So going back to-
He
stupid.
really wanted Yuri's vehicle.
Did he say that to you?
Yeah, he told
You
me.
need a lawyer,
And when did he do that?
stupid.
He told me that over the phone.
Okay, is this during the same day when you
The same part of the same thing. He was like, he can give up one of the cars or something like that. He said.
Why did he need a car? He had a car
Yeah,
that worked just
yeah.
fine 2 days earlier. What was
Yeah.
wrong with this car?
He just probably wanted to get rid of it. I don't know that, but I know he pressured. He did say he wanted. He said you need to tell him he need to come up with something right now. That's what he kept telling me.
Did you ever?
That's that shit. That's that
Why didn't you
shit.
tell Yuri?
Because I just didn't really want to.
You already brought you into it. It doesn't make sense that you would really discuss it.
It was not my place. I don't think it was my place to do so. Even though he was pressuring me about it, I just didn't want to call Yuri. And I did try to reach out to Yuri a few times. He didn't answer.
He wants
I kept trying. I'm trying to tell you, listen, man. You need to get this man what he wants, or whatever y'all do, and stop confronting me. Now the reason why.
This motherfucker know it.
After her murder about money.
Ain't in
I'm trying
there.
to convey this to Joseph and relaying. It's okay to tell me now.
No, it's no problem. I'm being honest with you. Yeah,
I don't have to
I
make
did
shit
call
up.
him a few times though. I did call him a few times, and he did not answer. Yuri. Yeah, he did not. And then he'll text me and say, "Oh, I'm out with my father. We're taking care of the funeral arrangements, stuff like that." And I'll be like, "Okay, well, just call me as soon as you can." Stuff like that. But he never did.
So this response, he said he can't right now because they're not letting him touch nothing. You just made that up.
I made that up. Yuri never told me that.
You realize it. I hope you're not trying to protect Yuri.
No, that's not my place. That's
I
definitely
know
not
he
my
told
place.
you on these phone calls, oh, he wouldn't.
No,
he wouldn't.
I don't believe that.
If you went to jail,
I don't believe that.
Hours.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Do you remember what else you sent Joseph a text of? I don't know why you sent it to him.
What is that?
This. Yuri's address.
Yeah, because he asked for it.
Why?
He didn't tell me. He just said, yes, he did. He got mad because he kept saying, I know they letting him touch something. I know this, I know that. And he kept saying, he was yelling at me. And I'm like, listen, man, I don't know what to tell you. He kept saying, what's the address to the place again? What's the address to the place?
Okay. Do you know Joseph ever went down there?
I don't know. Never went with him.
Yuri, I'm sure Yuri and you had conversations that you did record. But I know you said.
Are you trying to
But
say?
before that even came up, the recording process,
You on the
yes, I did have
outside
conversations.
looking in?
What? If anything
That's
had
what he's
do
trying
with
to
his
say.
relationship with Javon.
No.
But
All I
listen
asked him
to
was
you.
pretty much why were everybody acting crazy towards me. What did he tell people? He said he never told anybody nothing. I kept telling him that this man, he wants his money and stuff like that. He's saying, man, tell him to get a job, stuff like that. And and I relayed the message back to Javon, and Javon was like, okay. And that's pretty much all he was saying.
Why was Javon looking for a gun?
He claimed, well, and I know the dude's name now, Ronald and Steve. I don't know the last name, my brother didn't tell me. But he kept looking for a gun because he felt like you needed it for his protection. He said he got into some shit, and I'm quoting. He got into some shit, and he needed some protection. That's what he said.
Did Joseph ever say to you, or if he did, how did Joseph express his displeasure with the fact that Yuri hasn't given him anything?
He just told me he was going to body him. That's what he told me.
Body means.
Kill him.
This
He
motherfucker.
had his home address that he had moved by then.
Right. Now, I told him do what you want to do. He kept telling my brother, my twin, that he couldn't trust me, this and that, and that he felt like I'm snitching. He did tell my brother, he said, I'm the only one that's gonna probably get away with
Y'all
this
should
because I have
stop
nothing to do
doing
with it. That's what he told my twin.
Y'all really should.
That's what he told my twin brother. He said I'm the only one that have nothing to worry about.
So on July 1st,
Mhm.
as we discussed already, you're texting with Javon using a 293.
That's my mother's- yes.
But yet you say you are.
And that's probably
You said you're on the phone with Yuri, but you're not on the phone with this number because I did run that number.
No,
So you must
I
be
was
using-
not on the phone with Yuri.
No, but you said you were.
Yeah, I did text him that, but I don't. What I'm trying to remember is that there were several times I told Javon I was on the phone with Yuri, but I really wasn't. And I did try to call Yuri. And but Yuri, I think that was the day. Was that a Saturday?
Yes.
That was a Saturday. Yuri called me and told me he was with his father doing funeral arrangements. And I told him, listen, man, Javon is mad. He want his stuff, and he keep pressuring me about it. And he kept saying that tell him to get a job. Tell him that, and he did tell me that they were not allowing him to get nothing. He said that him and Elder Simmons
made a phone call to them and tried to get it for the funeral supposedly, and they were not able to get it. They had problems with it, and that they all put money together. I said, I don't care what you did. I said, all I want you to know is that this man wants his money, and he knows where I stay. He don't know nothing about you. He's asking for your address, your phone number. I gave him your phone number, this and that, and I basically said, listen, man, just get his man his stuff so I can get the hell out of this. And that's what and apparently he just kept saying, but tell him I ain't got nothing, and tell him that I'm waiting for them to give it to me, and for these detectives to equip me, and I'm gonna sue them too, and this and that stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to the night of. I just want to clarify something.
Sounds
Now,
about
maybe
right.
make
This motherfucker
some-
telling the
some
truth
calls.
though.
On the way to your house, you guys are going down.
Mhm.
Javon's
But
following
he
you.
ain't
No,
saying
your
you
car's there,
know
and his car's
about
in the parked on.
On the right side of Lawrence, yeah.
Men's party. How did you really know that Javon was going to eventually park?
Yuri called me.
All right, he called you from that 786 number?
Yes.
And he tells you,
This
but
is
how do you
crazy.
communicate with Joseph? Where, I mean, how does he even know where you are then?
I don't know. But as soon as I got on Lawrence, he called me. As soon as I got on at the light, getting ready to make the left on Lawrence, he called me. And he said that, Javon is going to park his car down the street somewhere. I asked him why. He said, just do it. I said, okay, whatever. I called Javon. Javon pulled over to the right shoulder of Lawrence. And Javon said, I'm going to get in the car right now. He
What
got
number did you have with you?
with Javon?
When you were driving down there that night, did you have two phones?
No. I promise you I didn't. And no other phone. I had no other phone.
Because we're having a hard time mapping your phone down there.
That's the part I don't want to
Stop
say.
doing crime.
I have my phone.
Stop doing
I got even text messages. Matter of fact,
You ported that phone number. You still, this is your original number that you've had since day one.
since
I
day one,
mentioned.
yeah,
You ported that over, so everything, your messages.
I ported it over.
Well, this is a new phone, right?
So this is the same one. I just
Same
took the
one.
case off. Yeah,
Oh,
just took the case off. The same one.
do you still have your text messages with Javon?
You know, I don't know. I probably deleted them.
Were they iCloud messages or were they SMS?
They could have. My phone does do iCloud backup, so it could be on iCloud. We can check.
Do you know how?
Just on iCloud.com, log in and
You
check.
can have it all.
Yeah, I got it on the computer. Do it.
Keep my
Yeah,
passport.
that's not bad.
Yeah, that's no problem.
I just want to see you.
Everything you need.
You got a call from Yuri. He tells you this. All right. He gets in your car. Does he
Right.
get in the back of the car?
The back, right side of the back.
What kind of gun does he have? You see it.
At first I didn't see it, and then I said, he told me, take me to Yuri's house. I said, what the hell going on? Why the hell you parking right here? All you got to do is go straight ahead, the last apartment complex on the right. You make a right. And he said, man, take me to Yuri's house right now. I said, I ain't doing shit. And then he pulled the gun out on me. I never saw him at it.
Okay.
But he pulled the gun out on me and said, take me to Yuri's house right now. I said, I'm going to take you to his house, and then I'm out. That's
When
what
you
I
get
told
to
him.
Yuri's house, you get out of the car. You tell me that Yuri and him have a conversation. What do you hear Yuri say anything like it's got to happen now?
I'll tell you, that's my mom. Yes. Okay. It's not that important.
Okay, I need your help on this one. Did he just swipe to accept the call and then push to reject? Is that what he just did?
Anyways, I never heard that. I actually moved to the back of the car because I didn't want to hear it. I want the truth.
Well, Javon says he heard you and this is his sign. I'm
No
trying to figure out, maybe you can explain it. He said that you and Yuri talking, and Yuri saying it's got to happen now. It's got to happen now.
He never-
And he said he walked away.
Never.
While the woman
No.
is upstairs
How did you leave
in
that
her
film?
room
He left with my car, with the rental car. He left with the
Nobody
rental car. Nobody else.
Did anyone else drive down with you?
No.
Where's Jeff?
Jeff was, I don't know. But I asked Jeff.
Did your mom ever go down to the scene after the murder?
No.
Did she respond down there?
My mother?
Yeah.
No.
While you were after we interviewed or while we were interviewing or anything?
You didn't interview my mom?
No, I'm asking you. When did your mom ever come to the scene?
No.
Did your brother ever come down?
No. No.
No one else in your family would have any of your other phone numbers that you mentioned, the 293 or
That's my mom's phone.
Right, or the two.
She said that's my mom's phone.
Right. So no one else came down there and visited you or
No.
comforted you while you were
No.
down there.
It was just me and Joe Bond and Yuri. We were there. Nobody else came.
And quit.
And quit. Yeah, that night. See, that's a lie. What Joe Bond said. That's a lie. I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to say, and just for the record, the state attorney should consider
What?
if I do a crime with you and you sit here and call my phone and say, you know I didn't do nothing. If you have something to do with this, and I'm your homeboy, why are you talking like that? You know you got something. What do you mean? Why you acting funny? Not once when I called Yuri or Jovan could they include me in that. Because they know I have nothing to do with that. Keep in mind, on the phone call, you say, I know you have nothing to do with this. But if I did, why are you saying you ain't got nothing to do with this? You acting funny. What are you talking about? You got nothing? If you have something to do with it. He couldn't do that because he knows deep down I don't. Which is why in the beginning of a recording, he said, oh. In other words, Yuri, he basically,
These are the recordings you did on your own.
Right. Oh, he says, why don't you just, if they're arrested, man, I'll get you a lawyer. I'll make sure I do everything in my power to get you. Because he was saying stuff to y'all, but he knew that I had nothing to do with it.
What do you think thus far? Is Dimitri convincing you that he didn't know about this plot? Let's take our one and only commercial break, and when we return, there is some more damning evidence that might sway your thoughts about his involvement. Oh, and consider hitting the like button. Be back in a second.
When you said to him on the phone that you have nothing, you have no worries because you had nothing to do with this shit.
Right.
You remember what his response was?
His response, he said, yeah, I know you ain't got nothing to do with it. Something like that he said.
About
That was not for that. When I said, come on, Yuri, if you go back and listen, I want you to do that, okay? Go back and listen. I said, come on, Yuri, I already know my homeboy did. He said, it was for that. It wasn't for, oh, I ain't worried about nothing because I know you ain't. He said, yeah. Because when I said that, he said, yeah, I know you ain't got nothing to do with it. Go, make sure you listen to it again.
No, I did.
I don't want you to switch
No, I
that up.
twisted shit. I'm
All right,
saying,
just make
either
sure.
way, he's telling, when he's doing that, what is he telling you?
He's basically saying, yeah, I know you ain't got nothing to do with it, but don't say that over the phone.
Because your reply was
Everything
what?
was
I said, no, he said, I said, wow, what you saying that for? He said, I said, oh, because we on the phone?
You said, you said, you got me on speaker.
I said, no, I said, you got me on speaker? He said, no, it's not that. I said, what is it? Because we on the phone? He said, yeah, don't say that over the phone.
Why did he say that to you?
He probably thought the phones were tapped or whatever. Because
Don't you remember him telling you that over the phone?
Yeah.
That you thought the phones were tapped?
Yeah. But we were not on my phone. We were on my phone. But I mean, he can tell, and that's where I'm having a hard time at, is because, you know, I get these recordings and I'm like, you know,
you still have them, I guess.
right, of course I'm never going to delete them because just in case something happens, I got to, you know, protect myself. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know I have nothing to do with it. Neithertheless, when I call your phone, you can call me. I know you ain't got nothing to do with this. And I promise you, I never told the detective or anybody anything about you. I would never play that game with you. But you can go ahead and you can sit in here, and you can sit in your home or wherever you are with your family and tell them a lie about me and come and lie to the detectives. But face to face, I'm gonna tell you one thing: if you do a crime with somebody, they can't lie to you because you know everything. Or if you know the truth, they can't lie in your face. He couldn't lie on me on the phone, but I asked him here, come on now, you know I have nothing to do with this. He couldn't say yes, you did, because he would be lying. So of course he's not going to say, oh, yes, Demetri, because then it would give him up when he was telling on. Because every time I asked him, you sure you never told him I have anything, I would never do that. That's his response.
Well, what do you expect him to say? You think he's going to?
But I'm just trying to show you.
You really think even if he did?
No, but if I have involvement, why are you acting like that? What you mean you ain't got nothing to do with this? Because you do. That's what I would do.
Who do you know besides Joseph and yourself that Yuri had something to do with the murder of his wife? Who else is Yuri confided in that you believe?
I don't know. I know the answer to that. All I do know is
his brother, the firefighter. One of those guards.
That was. He could know. I doubt it. I highly doubt that they know the truth.
What about his friend Tony? Or do you know his good friend?
I don't even know his friends like that. To be honest, I seen a few of them. I met him. I shook their hand, but had full conversation with him. There was never that. You know what? But there was some bald head dude, a big bald head dude.
Black or white?
He was black. And Yuri told me the night that he told me about it. He said I asked my friend to do it. He said I asked my friend. I know. He said I told my friend about it, and my friend said something about. He said something. I can't remember word for word, but in other words, he told some big bald head dude that he wanted to do it.
How do you know it was the big bald head?
Because he told me, he said, you know, I don't remember the name, but he said, you know, this dude, I'm trying to remember the name. And I said, no, which one? He said, you don't want to be always in the rental car with the ball here, but I be putting the Beijing on his the Beijing, the black dye. She blacked out when you get a haircut. And he put the Beijing on his
That's what
beard.
happens when
I
you
said, yeah, I know
talk
him.
too much.
I've seen
You
him.
talk too much.
He told him about it.
One thing I learned in
That's-
prison is
I
shut
don't
your
know.
damn mouth.
It could be. I'm trying to remember. If I remember, I definitely call you. I have no problem with that. I have no problem.
This must be a first
Now,
timer.
Jeff, I don't know what you know about Yuri, but he definitely knows about Javon.
Does he work during the day?
You just got off at an hour ago. I'm supposed to go pick him up.
Next time you know he's working in the next couple of days, I want you to just have him say he's there.
Fine.
The other thing,
I mean, if there's any information I can give you, I have no problem with that, you know, because at the end of the day, I know, and I told you this from day one.
where's the text messages where you said you screenshot you?
I didn't really screenshot them yet, but I'll screenshot them right now. I just
You
want to
gonna
show
let
you.
him go?
Yeah.
Okay, read it.
I'll be surprised if they let him go. I ain't watching
I said,
We're doing
I'm watching the mystery guys.
I was like, hey, Shakes. I said, remember the day I dropped back to you off the
Keep
table?
talking.
Me and you to Javon went to your house. Yeah, why? What's up? You know,
Is there anything on there where
she just said right here, yeah, why? What's up? So she has knowledge that we were there. I just went there.
there's no other text messages that she says anything about?
The situation, no, that was just what I'm doing, this and that, and I kind of got mad at
What
her.
was the conversation like when you guys were driving back with Shay in the car and Yuri?
It was very quiet.
Javon.
Well, I mean,
You guys
Javon,
were
she was sleeping. She was sleeping.
Okay.
In the passenger seat back. Javon was in the back seat.
After you're gone to visit.
Yeah, after we went to visit here.
Just so you know, there's no evidence of you or
That's
Joseph
what I
down
don't
there
understand.
on the 27th.
That's what I don't. It was not really the 20. It was the 28th because how I remember. But it was early. It was like 2 o'clock, like maybe 1, 2. I'm telling you, and that's the part I don't understand.
Neither your phone showed down there. The phone's on mine.
That's what I don't understand. That's the
Shay was down there. She's the
Shay
only one
was-
that can confirm that you guys.
She was.
So you're down there in the early morning of the
Quake can confirm it. I can't.
He doesn't remember ever. He doesn't remember ever seeing Javon before. Javon, the first time he saw Javon, he said this when he came play basketball. Guys, haircut.
Just don't understand.
Is it possible that Quay didn't actually go face to face with Javon that night?
Probably,
The first time.
yeah.
Because you said he was in and out.
He was in and out. The year kept telling him to go back in and out.
Okay.
Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. We coming. Yeah, just give me like 10 minutes. Bro, just I want you to catch the bus, but I'm coming. I said I don't want you to catch the bus, but I'm coming. All right.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. This is just something we do as black folks, man. This is black folks' time. My man said, I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes. Take a good look at the time left in this video. Man, you ain't gonna be there in no damn 10 minutes.
Now, and I do have proof that I never got money from Yuri. How I got my car, I can show you that too. You know,
Why
and
did Javon never told you? Or what was his reason for getting rid of his car?
he never told
It
me.
worked just fine.
He never told me, but I can tell you this.
He talked about buying it back. Why would he buy it back? Why did he get rid of it?
I don't know. He claimed he got the car, that Volvo from a crackhead. That's what he said. I don't know. I never asked. I didn't even ask.
The $1,500 I did notice in his text. He's scamming his credit cards for $1,500.
He never came through.
He's trying to.
He's trying. He's trying. He's never
What
coming through.
banks do you know he's trying to do?
TD, Wells Fargo. He had some checkbook from PNC Bank. You know, I think
What was the scam?
scam was we write a check, deposit in the bank. Hopefully they release the funds before.
Write a check for where the. But it was using a credit card. That was,
Now, see, I don't know about that. All I know is he had a checkbook.
Okay.
I remember a checkbook. I seen him have a checkbook.
That shit don't work no
No,
more.
I told him about that. I told him how to write a check and, you know,
They
write a
can
check,
run that
put a certain
number
amount. Sometimes they'll release
instantly
$100 and
if it's got some
give you the
money.
rest, and then, you know, they'll overdraft the
They
account
give
later.
you your
That's
check
what I told him
back.
you have any knowledge of what he was doing with credit cards?
No, I didn't even know he had a credit card. I knew he had debit cards.
So his or someone else?
Some other people.
What was the scam?
Scale was to write a check and put it in the bank and wait for the funds to come. They never
Take
came.
a break.
That's what I do know. I never knew